All right, so quick recap for the workout here. We were doing 45-second intervals on a heavy bag at a kind of a medium pace. And then we were doing body weight exercise kind of in the 10 to 20-ish rep range. That might be helpful if I showed a few other variants as well as discuss different ways that you can change your loading strategy for these bodyweight movements. So first, for our upper body pushing motion, I was doing one-handed push-ups. If you want to make those more difficult, you could get a weight vest and incrementally add weights to it. I actually have some out in the garage. I'll show you in a minute when we go over the upper body pull. But for now, if you're having trouble doing, you certainly don't have to do one-handed push-ups to be good at sword fighting or whatever, but that's the training stimulus that's kind of working for me for what I'm going for here. But if you want something that's a little easier to do, you can just do conventional push-ups. You can do this with varying widths of your hands. That's totally fine. Hand positioning, whatever feels comfortable to you. Keep your body super straight. Keep your core tight. Down all the way to the ground, all the way up. If those are too difficult for you, not a problem. We can do bent legged push-ups where we keep our knees on the ground. Again, find a width that feels comfortable for you. Generally speaking, the wider you go, the more you're kind of working your chest, and the more narrow you go, maybe a little bit more shoulder, triceps. But it's all good. And then as far as how you place your hands, kind of fanned in, out, really whatever feels comfortable for you. All right, so the same thing. Keep your core tight, all the way down, all the way up. And there's plenty of nice variants of push-ups. Cool? Good. All right, sweet. Then for squats, I was doing a one-legged squat variant called a Bulgarian split squat. Right. On the bench. If you find one-legged squat variants or lunges to be too difficult, not a problem. We can do kind of two-legged squats, right? You can go wider, kind of more sumo. You can go more conventional. You can go narrow. It's kind of all good. But in general, you kind of want to keep your body a little upright. We don't really want to round our spine at any point in any kind of workout. But again, just kind of very similar to the one-legged variant. You just drop down to a depth that's comfortable for you and all the way back up. All right, so if let's say that's way too easy, but maybe this wasn't comfortable or more difficult, something in between those things might be a lunge. So we can do like a front lunge. We can do like a reverse lunge. Cool. We can also do side lunges. Big fan of side lunges. Kind of works in that lateral plane. A lot of exercises don't do that, but a lot of things we do kind of in sword play does involve that lateral plane. So I'm a big fan of doing those. So the next would be the hinge motion. All right, so we were doing one-legged hip thrusts. All right. If that's a little too difficult for you, not a problem. We can use a two-legged variant. Okay. If that's a little too difficult for you, we can actually do an exercise that I do for my lower back a couple times a week called the bird dog. That's where we kind of hinge our leg in here and out. You can also just do, if that's difficult for you, you can just unilaterally do each leg. Kind of pressing it out. One other exercise that I've done in the past that I really like involves a hinge to a headstand position. I'll show that real quick for you. Like that, it's really good for core, really good for balance. Yeah, big fan of that exercise. Kind of takes a little while to work your way up to it though, so that's more bonus material. So I'm going to pause real quick, head over to the garage, and I'll show you what I was doing for my upper body pull. All right, so in the video, I was running off screen to the garage here. It's my garage gym where I was doing Australian pull-ups. So Australian pull-up is kind of like a horizontal plane rowing motion, like you might do with a barbell or a dumbbell, but you do it with your body weight. You can, the variant I was doing was a little bit wider than shoulder width. Then I tighten my core, stay straight, pull up to the bar, pause, down, good stretch, up, pause, down, good stretch. Like everything else in this workout, it was kind of in that 10 to 20 rep range. All right. You can also vary this one up. You can vary the width a little bit. You can also do this maybe with a pronated grip, again with your palms facing this way, or supinated grip, comes up with your palms facing kind of up. You can vary that with just a little bit as well. If you have access to different specialty bars, you can also maybe do something in the neutral grip or something like that. All right, so other variants that we can go out and go over in the garage out here for bodyweight exercise. Obviously the pull-up being a really, really great one. So that's pulling in the vertical plane. We can vary our width. We can go with our palms facing away or towards us in a supinated grip. We call that a chin up. Maybe I'll just do a couple pull-ups and a couple chin-ups just so you can see. Right now I like to do my pull-ups from a dead hang. So I start out with a nice stretch, pull myself all the way up to the bar, pull my chin over, all the way down. Cool. Chin-ups, same thing. What feels comfortable for me is to go a little bit narrower than shoulder width. But same thing. All the way down, good hang, good stretch. All the way up, pause, down, full hang, up, and so on. While we're out here, let's try to do examples that have less equipment. But since it's here, I'll maybe demonstrate another really awesome bodyweight exercise, in particular for your triceps, shoulders, chest, whatever. Pushing in a little bit of a different plane than I do for a lot of other exercises, so I find it's a really helpful assistance exercise. That's dips. I'll just demonstrate a couple of these. Kind of similar to the pull-ups. We want to go down, get a good stretch, and then press all the way up. While we're out here, I have a couple other implements that are really good for bodyweight training. I have two weight vests. This one I bought from Walmart or something years and years ago. It goes up from 2.5 pounds to 25 pounds. And the plates look like this, and they go up in 1.25, so 1.25 pound increments, so you can kind of slowly add weight if you're trying to, let's say, wear this while we do pull-ups or push-ups or dips or squats or what have you. And then more recently, bought this bad boy on Amazon. This one goes up to 90 pounds, and the plates are in 3 pound increments, like that. So this is for those movements where maybe we've outgrown this smaller guy and we want to load up a little bit more. Kind of similar to all my other videos. There's lots of good information out there if you want to really get into the nitty-gritty of technique. Also, if you really want to dive into this stuff, highly recommend you talk to some type of trainer. They're going to help work with you and kind of walk you through these different types of movement patterns no matter what implement you're using. Body weight, barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells, bands, whatever. Anyways, that being said, these are the types of things that have worked well for me, and I hope you found them helpful. And please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.